So we also have bad watchmaking, and we've got bad watchmaking 1, 2, and 3. Let's start with bad watchmaking 1. What's going on here?
Bad watchmaking 1 is a horrific example of a Patek Philippe 240, and it's just, we don't know what happened to this movement, what somebody did to it. It's one of the worst that I had seen, and this was some time ago I came across this watch, and when I was asked to pull some pictures up, you know, I was just I was reminded about this one. So this watch actually went back to the factory to get some love, because there's nothing we can do to it. When we saw this watch, when this one actually came in, and like I said, this was some time ago, but you know what happened to the watch, I have no idea since then. But I don't know how far they would even go. But as you can see, the watch does have the Geneva seal right there, and it's just completely scraped away.
And it's disfigured around the Geneva seal. It's almost like someone tried to hit the screws and missed 50 times.
That's why I took that picture. It's exactly why I took the picture of the Geneva seal there. And that's the kind of stuff we look at, both when we're looking to purchase a watch, recondition a watch, anything we're doing, we're looking at what kind of love that watch received. And somebody was into this watch that shouldn't have been anywhere around it. And that's the amazing thing, where they just didn't know what they were doing. So be careful out there. You know, if you're looking to buy a watch, know your watchmaker, know where the watch came from, know what they're trained and certified in, know that they understand this. You know, I would have been embarrassed if someone did this on a 2824, you know, let alone anything Geneva seal.
Yeah, and guys, this is why you don't pay to have some local guy who says he's good with Patek do a $200 service on your caliber 240 micro rotor. It's worth putting up more money to get someone who knows what he's doing.
Thank you.
To work on your watch. And I think we've got more bad watchmaking. This one's subtle.
This is subtle, and this was actually a bench test that I administered, and the first thing I looked at was the regulation. And if you look at the micro regulator, it is moved, it's just swung all the way. It swung all the way. And there's no reason for that. He did not pass the bench test, but this is not the reason why. There was more stuff wrong. But this is the first thing we're going to look at. And we look at this in watches. You have your regulator, and you can move your regulator. You can get the watch timed in perfectly without even touching the micro regulator. So we always want to see that right in the center, right at 0. Again, there's no reason to go into that if you have any idea what you're doing as a watchmaker. The micro regulator, it's there. Yes, it's there. People do use it. They'll use it, you know, move it one notch, you know, either way. But we don't do that. You know, we don't want to do that. We want everything zeroed out to the center, and then we use the regulator itself to regulate the watch.
Yeah, that's the equivalent, guys. It's like literally as bad to the eyes of an experienced watchmaker as when you see a car that's been rear-ended with its trunk duct taped shut.
Yeah. It's
that bad.
It is. It's just, you can't really call it laziness. You can call it, you know, I don't know what to call it, because it wasn't even a time test. You know, it's not like I had to make an adjustment real quick to get it out. No. Just anyone that would turn a watch in like that, they're not going to make it.
Didn't know what he was doing.
They're not going to make it.
Yeah. So here's the other thing. We've got another more subtle depiction of bad watchmaking. Take us through what's going on in bad watchmaking 3.
This is the underside of the automatic bridge of a 2892, which you never see looking at the watch until you actually tear it apart. And if you have a 2892 or you're familiar with the automatic on that, you have a large bearing in the center of it, and you see 3 little dots in the bearing. Well, the 3 little dots are the bottom of those screws that you're looking at right there. But what someone did here, they took a little dance. It looked like Wolverine, you know, went at it with his little knives, you know, trying to get those screws out of there. And
Wolverine would have done a better job.
Yeah, he just tore it to pieces. Again, fitting the screwdrivers. You know, again, fitting the screwdrivers to fit the screws is something that's very, very important. And, you know, we had a little demonstration of that today, and just how important it is. So when a screwdriver actually slides in there, it doesn't slide off. If it slides off, then you're not doing something right. And just to dig in like that, and he didn't do it once. There's multiple gouges in that bridge. It's a subtle thing. It's not something everyone's going to see, but if you take the watch apart and you see that, then that's when I'm going to go in there deeper and look to see what else is wrong.
And to continue the car analogies, this is like finding a Ferrari Testarossa and it has 4 different brand tires on it and they're all old. you know to look deeper because something else wasn't something more important wasn't tended to.
A couple of mixed match lug nuts in there somewhere.
Exactly.
Lug bolts in that case.
Dead flies on the rear window parcel shelf, things like that. So bad watchmaking isn't just about being sloppy. You know, sometimes it's about jury rigging things, gluing things.
Yes.
I mean,
I know where we're going with this one. This is one we showed before on the show where I took this picture probably 5-6 years ago, and I remember it came out of a show part of Millimiglia, and I remember looking at this and just laughing because it's literally a $4 part.
This is our date drive repair wheel, guys.
And that's it right there. And to say someone, you really can't call it bad watchmaking because he really fixed it.
Yeah.
He did a great job on this. You know, he could have finished it a little better. He did a great job. It probably took a couple hours to do this repair on a part that cost $4 to $5. And it absolutely amazes me. What I found in this watch, though, is he did not address the reason the finger broke, which is actually a clutch and an intermediate setting wheel. If that's not lubricated properly, that's when you have a problem. And that's what actually breaks the date drive wheels off. Date drive wheel breakage, you know, we've talked about this on the show before. We're going to be talking about this all the time. On a 7750, date drive wheels break if the watch is not serviced properly.
Now, you've also mentioned that 7750s among movements are particularly susceptible to calendar breakage. If you do, like some watches like Rolex, I'm not going to say do it, but if you set the time during the so-called danger zone, a Rolex movement is probably going to survive that. 7750, you're going to crash that
You're going to crash. You're either going to tear, again, if it's not serviced right, if that intermediate wheel, which is actually a clutch, if it's not serviced properly, and we're going to get into that in further episodes, we're going to actually demonstrate what we're talking about and show the improper or the proper way to do it and how it's tested. If that's not proper, then what's going to happen is either that finger is going to break off that we're looking at right there that somebody made and reattached, or it's going to tear a finger off the calendar wheel itself, which is only aluminum. And that calendar wheel, when it comes around again, whatever date that's broken on, it's not going to pass when it gets there. So it'll work for 30 days, and that's about it, 31 days. This is something else that somebody fixed. They did a nice job, but there's no reason to do this, and they didn't address the basic reason that he had to make this repair.
So the person had good manual skills. What he didn't have was an understanding of mechanical theory, because he didn't know where this breakage was coming from.
Exactly. That's not the wheel that breaks. It's not the reason that we have this issue.